Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Us and My Life. Love you and cause I love you so much. Oh, 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 I just love you. I just like help. I just like help. I just like you too. I just like you. I just love you. Happy New Year. I love you. Say goodbye to going to school, and that's okay. Yum, 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 yum. I just love you.
Well, I want to thank Ariana Stanley for singing us and welcoming us to the show today. This is the salute to Captain Len Kaine and the other heroes of America on this Friday. This is wrapping up the Friday of 2024, moving towards the next show we have will actually end up being in the new year. But we want to thank everyone that's joining us and has been a part of the show this last year. Going forward, we're going to be transitioning to a new supplier. We'll give you the details during the month. We'll be working it out here in January. Our communications expert and handler, Mary Stanley, is making arrangements for us to move and switch our program over to a new format. So we'll let you know. But in the meantime, we invite you and welcome you to this show. And I have the privilege of honoring hosting this show with a gentleman who has not only become a close friend, in my life, he's a hero. And I think as you get to know Captain Len Kaine, you'll say the same thing. Len Kaine, again, has been recognized as in Who's Who in America and Who's Who in the World. He's been multiple times nominated for Nobel Peace Prize for his work with the Golden Rule Society, which we are partners with in making this a better world. So what I'd like to do, I'm not going to take any more time. I'm blowing a lot of hot air here, but I want to say hello. Good afternoon, Len Kaine. How are you, sir?
Well, fantastic after a wonderful, wonderful Christmas season. Oh, and looking forward to the new year. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you, sharing you the opportunities that we have and you have available to you through the Golden Rule Society charity. We've been doing this magic for 62 years.
Wow.
By the way, we're all non-volunteers, so we're not selling anything, but we have gifts for you and yours now and always. And the information that I'm going to be sharing with you within the next hour, you can share the information with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your church, your charity, whoever you like. Because I jokingly say to people when we come aboard the show, welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, now watch my lips. And, of course, that's impossible. It's a radio show. But everybody laughs a little bit. But I do have your attention. And the point is, this is nothing but wonderful. And we're just celebrating all the programs that we have. And the idea here is what we are doing along with Mr. Ron Clayton, who is the man in charge of the Hope Collection nowadays. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But the deal is to help make it a better world. And all this time, that you just have to have a piece of paper, pencil handy, because I'm going to be giving you information, places to go, things to do, and I don't want you to miss them. So be sure that you have that piece of paper that you can write down places that I would suggest that you come and visit, and you can say, wow, this is just outstanding, because that's why we're here. People ask me how much time I spend doing this charity work. I tell people I only do it about 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, but I get the rest of the time off. I know that's kind of silly. That's more than the hours in a day. But the point is, we're busy helping to make it a better world. And I always tell people that I'm busy doing the work of the Lord. He doesn't pay me anything, but I understand his retirement program is out of this world. At least we hope and pray for that, don't we? And we hope that you and your family, your children, everybody there is going to be betterfied by being part of this program of the Golden Rule Society charity. And I mentioned Mr. Ron Clayton's name. Mr. Ron Clayton is the man in charge because he's filling in for the gentleman by the name of Joel Griffin. Sadly, Joel Griffin passed away. Cancer got him. And we miss him. We love him. We pray for him. But the kind of guy Joel Griffin was, very similar to what Mr. Ron Clayton is doing today. Same thing to do. Stay well. But Joel Griffin, a PhD, doctorate in mathematics. Brilliant man. Tall, handsome, wonderful personality, good Christian man. Just fun to be around. He was a senior advisor to 3 of the different presidents of the United States. That's how well the president of the United States thought. What a terrific guy, because he kept helping the presidents and the presidents to be more effective in helping others. Great guy. We miss him again, I'll say that. So anyway, as I mentioned, Mr. Ron Clayton is in charge. But a few years back, Golden Rule Society, which I founded 62 years ago, I was doing a project, and I got a phone call from Mr. Joel Griffin, senior advisor to the president. Wow. And he said, "Hey, Len, I've been kind of following what you've been doing for all these years." And he says, "Here's what I'm going to offer. I'm going to offer you the opportunity, allow me to come in to be a senior advisor in the Golden Rule Society charity." And ladies and gentlemen, I've got to be honest, it took me about a second and a half to say, "Welcome aboard." Wonderful man that he was, and we miss him. Again, I'll keep saying it. God bless him. But that's the kind of situation we have. We touch the lives of others. We now have, would you believe, a dozen other senior advisors, ladies and gentlemen who are professionals in their efforts, in their businesses, in their dedication to life. And that is really nice. And when every one of our senior advisors does something special, comes up with an idea or a program that's going to help others, I always tell them, we're going to double your salary. And it doesn't take them long for them to remind me that we're not getting paid at all. So 2 times nothing is still nothing. All in good fun. But that's the point. We're dedicated to that, helping to make it a better world. Why not? We're only here for so many years, but that's what we're doing. And I'm going to give you a little story about my life. I graduated high school as a young man, finished, and the very next day, I was off to join the Navy. And as I was packing my bag, my mother, her name was Theodosia, everybody called her Thea, just the love of our lives, dedicated to just being kind and all that. And she said to me before I left, she said, "Len, before you leave, I want to tell you something. And here it is. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you meet, be kind." Now, ladies and gentlemen, those 2 words are in my heart and my soul and my mind. I can't live without them because they're from my mother and they just make so much sense. And going through the years, I had a little something. If you're going to be kind with somebody, do it with a smile. Why not? Kindness and a smile go very well together. So that's what I've been doing for all these years, living my life that way. And that's why I founded the Golden Rule Society. And that's you can take advantage of it. And I mentioned 62 years our charity is in business. And I want you to write down this information because it's the identification of our Golden Rule Society's charity. And if you're ready to copy, here it is. You know how it is, very typical. It's www.goldenrulesociety. And that's all one word, no spaces. goldenrulesociety.org, O-R-G. And that simply means we are a charitable, nonprofit, tax-exempt organization, both nationwide and worldwide. We're going to help you and yours now and always. So that's how we get started. Now you're ready to go. And we have many things that we want to talk about. And let me tell you something that I'm really quite proud of, because in my business with the Navy, I did a bunch of things that help keep the world alive, if you will. I got into the Navy, and they asked me when I got there, well, you take a few tests to make sure that we know that you're up to speed, and what would you like to do while you're in the Navy? And I told them the truth. I was very interested in electronics, electrical stuff. And I said, I'd like very much, if I pass the test and if I'm qualified, I'd like to go to the electronics school. And I'll spend my time in the Navy, which at the time was a 4-year tour. And after that, what I plan to do is go back to my home state, to Pennsylvania, go to Penn State University, get my degree, and get a job with IBM, and live happily ever after with my high school sweetheart, who we got married, and we've been married for 65 years. We only have 4 children, but we've got grandkids, nieces, nephews, and aunts and uncles, as the good Lord has blessed us with. But the point is, after taking the tests in the Navy, they said, oh, by the way, you passed the test with higher enough of a grade, you can take a test to go see if you can qualify to go to the Navy flight training program. I said, oh, I don't know much about that. But I took the test anyway because it was a challenge. The next thing I know, I was down there in Pensacola, Florida, going through flight training. And grew up, got my Navy wings as a teenage ensign. That was sort of a record, if you will. And went into the Navy, became a Navy fighter pilot, Navy Top Gun, East Coast, all Navy, all that sort of stuff, very successful. Became an instructor. It goes on and on. But the point is, doing those sort of things, and as I said, I set a world record of flying 6 different airplanes in air combat maneuvering in 2 days. Nobody's ever done that. And what it did was it helped save lives, because I went into combat later on and teaching the fellow pilots, and also the tactics that I gave became a part of the Top Gun school. So all the Navy pilots were doing it, and we were sharing it with the world. We even shared it with the big leaders of the U.S. military organization from England. I said, we heard about what you're doing, how to save lives. And they visited me aboard the U.S. Consulate, the aircraft carrier, and we spent an afternoon. I told them how to do it, and because they were losing airplanes to combat, and about 3 days later, when they implemented the tactics, which by the name ended up with a little bit of a they call it the capt program, kaine. I said, okay, I'll take that. But then here it is. He contacted me, like I say, less than a week later and said, Len, we have virtually cut our losses in half. And that's amazing. But it's such a wonderful feeling, and it tugs at the heartstrings, ladies and gentlemen, to know that you're saving lives. And I mentioned that I was in combat over there in Vietnam, saving lives. And years later, after I formed the Golden Rule Society charity, I got a call from one of our senior advisors who was also a Marine. And he was one of the guys on the ground while I was up at altitude as a Navy fighter airplane. And he retired from the Marines. He got his degree as an attorney, and he became good friends and a senior advisor. And he called one day and said, Len, you've got to get down to Texas to meet this gentleman, Alexander Candelario, who was a medically retired Marine. He was wounded. But he was, and still is, a sort of brilliant guy technology-wise. So I went down and I met him. We spent a couple hours, and I was watching, and he was showing what he was doing. I said, this is fascinating. This is just awesome. And he has a little organization. He called it Intiva Health. Intiva means informational technology, videos, all that sort of stuff. And what I did was I helped him to fund and found his organization. I became an advisor, a director of the organization. And long story short, Intiva Health, just a couple of years ago, we are now the #1 organization in the entire world supporting the medical industry. Organizations, 40 different ones, a couple of weeks ago, came aboard because they wanted to be part of it. Doctors hearing about this, and I tell them about it. I said, yeah, you ought to go visit this site. And they do that, and they call me back and say, Len, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? So doctors, nurses, hospitals, anybody in the industry, they're taking advantage of all the technology opportunities that are saving the lives. And let me tell you what a wonderful feeling it is, ladies and gentlemen, being part of it, is you wake up in the morning and you say, I wonder how many lives we saved yesterday. Tugs at the heartstrings to know, keeping people from suffering, pain, and all that sort of stuff, and being called away, buried, and all that stuff. So you'll have to excuse my my feelings, but it just tugs, and it makes a wonderful feeling to keep going on. But that's the program that we're working on, and it's expanding. And ladies and gentlemen, I gave you the place to go, and you write this down, Intiva Health, spelled INTIVA. And when you go to our website that I mentioned, you could look all kinds of, most everything is free, I mentioned. Some things are better than free. The most popular thing we have is discounts on travel. I'll give you a little example. A business friend here in San Diego, California area, he had to go to New York City with his wife on business. And it was a round trip organization. He went there and back with his wife. And the airline said, well, it'll be, I'll just as an example, that'll be $1,000. And he said, well, I'm part of the Golden Rule Society charity, And I said, oh, wait, just a wait. He says, no, instead of $1,000, it'll be $600. He saved $400 on one flight round trip. Now, here's the deal. I have no guarantee that you can get a discount every time, because airplanes and the airlines, if they have empty seats, they would rather give somebody a discount to put people in the seat. And they only determine what sort of a discount they offer and if they have it available. I have no control, because all these airlines who are willing to help are offering those services to you. And Ron, I just noticed my wristwatch. I'm just going on and on, but I'd like to have a little sip of my coffee. I'd like to turn it back over to you, Mr. Ron Clayton. And here to go. Just let me know. I'll jump right in, because I've got a lot of things to talk about, as you well know. God bless you, Ron. Over to you. I'm standing by.
Well, thank you so much, Glenn. And I'm going to carry on a little bit more with as you were sharing about the Intiva organization, Intiva Health, out of Houston, Texas. The myriad of supplies and support that they do. When we talk about what Intiva Health, when Glenn Kaine brought this company to the Hope Collection, all the members and friends of Hope and the Golden Rule Society, what they offer are health services that are, on one side, very, very unique. Another thing that they do, they're positioned in the marketplace that are making an incredible difference in the world of health. Let me just give you an example. In the last 2 years, Intiva Health has developed the process of creating organically made, pharmaceutical quality grade certified gummy bear. They become the leading world in the gummy world of manufacture for prescriptions, pharmaceuticals, vitamins, and food supplements. And if you turn on TV, there's probably within any half hour, you'll see a commercial that's promoting some kind of medicine or vitamin or food supplement using gummy bears and the gummy bear material. Well, Intiva has become the number one supplier in the world. They're the world leaders. Now, when I say that, let me tell you what it means. They started delivering when they built their first plant. They had a plant and they bought it out, and then they built another one. They doubled the size, and now this month they are actually going to expand. They're opening up the grand opening of the new plant that doubles their output of this material. Well, they become, in the gummy world, they are known as the gummy bear world, gummy world. They are the number one producer of that material. It's here in the United States. It's products being manufactured, pharmaceuticals made in the United States. A lot of stuff is being made off some shore, folks, and here's a company that's American founded, American made, and American developed. Another division of this company is they were the leaders in helping the communication system that all the secure companies, including our federal government, are using lockstep technology to communicate securely without the ability of our enemies hacking our information. And they're able to share and then be able to, when they were key in helping create the vaccine that helped keep millions of people from getting ill from COVID and other diseases. Well, this program and project, the product that Intiva Health has headed up is just incredible. And when Len talks about Angelo Candelario, when he talks about him, this guy is a super American hero, and we're so proud to be affiliated with him. Another division of, you can go online at Intiva Health in Houston, Texas, and they have service programs. They're leaders in genetic tracking and resourcing. They have medical tests. You literally can call them up. They do offer service that some insurance companies cover the cost, but they can take a genetic swab test from you, and they can give you back a report, a document that you can give to your primary doctor that will tell them not to give you certain kind of medicines that's going to harm you. That your body can tell. They do these genetic tests. They can tell what materials you should not be eating or drinking or medicines that could hurt you. So, folks, now that is, if the insurance company covers it, obviously that's cost. If not, they do make it available, and we don't profit off this. This is the cost of it's like around $200, and you can get it done. And you get this report, and it can help maybe save your life if you go into a doctor's a lot, or you're in out of the hospital. Gosh, they're going to be pumping you through all kinds of medicines. Why not have them have a security sense of security in your health? And Tiva Health can deliver that. They are an incredibly fast-growing American company, and they're leaders in technology. You know, Len has done other things for us, too, along the way. He has a company that you can take advantage of for pharmaceuticals. You know, we all have pills that we got medicines we got to get our doctors prescribed. Well, he's got a discount program. Maybe when he comes back, he can tell us a little about that. But, you know, I'm going to go back. Len kind of brushed across it. Because of his history and what he's done, he's been nominated 5 times for a Nobel Peace Prize. My goodness. Most people are lucky to even be mentioned that in my life, I never knew anybody that was nominated being around the Nobel Peace Prize. Here we are with Len Caine here on the phone right now. And I want to open up if anybody would love to say hello and ask Len any questions or just to talk to him. I would like anybody that's on the phone that would like to say hello to Len. Go ahead and do that right now.
Well, we're here to serve. And ladies and gentlemen, in line with what Ron was saying, the manufacturing plants of the Intenda Health Program are over here in the state of Arizona. And as he mentioned, we have 2 big plants, and we have a third one that's not quite finished yet. And looks like maybe just in the start of the new year, my wife and I are going to go over there when they tell us it's going to open, and we're going to go over there and help raise the flag on the 3rd manufacturing plant, which, by the way, is almost 5 times bigger than the previous 2 plants. That's the expansion of the size to serve everybody in the world. It's marvelous. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to give you the information that this is what is going on. And in talking to Mr. Ron Clayton, I want to tell you something about he and all the wonderful things that he has. And I gave you the website, the Golden Rule Society.org. But when you get there, it's a program that he put together, and it's the terrific group. He calls it Hope for You, helping the needy worldwide. And it provides success for you, which means educational, motivational, inspirational, character-building guidance for everybody. Success for you. I mean, it's available, and choose and select what you ever want for your children, family, friends, neighbors, whoever. That's the kind of work we're doing. And earlier, Mr. Ron Clayton mentioned an organization what was put together where one of our senior advisors, her name is Mary Stanley, and she's got picked up on the program here in the Golden Rule Society. She served in the military, retired from that, and heard about Golden Rule Society, and she came on board as a senior advisor. And here's the deal. She has children, a boy and a girl, wonderful children. And going to school convinced the kids that they ought to be part of what she calls a kindness club, because it's Golden Rule Society's kindness program. So talked to the principals and the superintendents at the school and said, we'd like to do this in the classroom, not to interfere at any way, shape, or form with what the teachers are trying to do, It's just that the kids have a get-together, and you know how that goes with kids at different ages and all that sort of stuff. But the program is simple, and it's very easy. No dramatic. It's the kindness clubs, teaching the kids how to be kind with one another, not to be fighting with one another and arguing and this and that and the other. So the principals and the superintendents and they all said, that sounds pretty good. So what we're trying to do, supporting the program, that was just their school in their state, and we want to see the kindness club in every classroom, in every city, in every state, in every country in the world. What a way to grow up. With kindness and love and hope in your heart for peace in the world. Treat others the way you want to be treated, truthfully, with dignity and respect. And you know what you do when you do that sort of a thing? You share the love that your God gives you with others. And when you share the kindness, do it with a smile. That's what's going on. And Mary Stanley needs to be addressed and dedicated and nominated, rewarded for her efforts. And we're supporting her all the way. Wow. And I mentioned earlier the Wise Traveler program. And that's one of the things that is most popular in the Golden Rule Society charity. I mean, why pay full price if you can get a discount? And all you have to do is ask. And there's another one that Ron talked about. It's called a prescription discount program. And I heard about this a few years back, and they don't advertise this, but it's available. A doctor gave me a prescription, so I went to the drugstore, talked to the druggist who I knew, and I gave him my prescription from the good doctor. And I said, by the way, I heard the story about the prescription discount program. Are you part of that? And he looked both ways to make sure maybe the boss wasn't looking. And he says, Captain Kaine, no, we don't have it at our drugstore. Got to tell you the truth. Across the street, down the road, about 4 blocks, one of the drugstores, they offer it. So the next time I got a prescription, I went to that drugstore to see if it really worked. And the discounts and the savings are sometimes, they tell me, as high as 80%. I mean, whatever discount they offer, you accept. Because it's better to keep your money in your pocket rather than giving it to somebody else, and off it goes. But there it is. Wherever you go, whatever drugstore, ask them, are you part of the prescription discount program? And if they're not, well, see if you can find one that is. Only if you really feel you need it. But that's the nice part of the program. And I tell you, it just tugs at the heartstrings to know that you're saving lives and helping people get on with the program. And Ron mentioned that I have the 5 nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize. And back in 2014, I was told that I was the number 2 man in the world. And this is by the good people from Nobel organization over there in Europe. And, okay, and I said, you said I'm number 2 in the world? They said, yes, that's correct. And I said, well, gosh, like I said, I was top gun in the Navy. I don't want to be number 2 anyway, right? No, they laughed. They got a kick out of it. But, Ron, this knocked my socks off. Yesterday, in the mail, I received a beautiful book from the people at the marquee of Who's Who in the World. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, not only have I got nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize, but I am on the list Who's Who in America for many, many years. And now also Who's Who in the World. But this book, I opened it up, and it's not many, many pages, but it's dedication to yours truly. And when I opened up the book and I started looking through, I got through a number of pages, and there is a picture of yours truly. And the nice part about it, the picture, and it's a dedication. They call it an executive spotlight. Leonard P. Kaine, President of the Golden Rule Society in Coronado, California, in the United States. Not only that, the picture, but then it lists all the awards that have been going on for all these many, many years. And people who get these books, they're going to be able to see that, wow, be associated with this guy. Pretty nice to see that. Look at this. Look at the and it goes on. And of course, they mention the Intiva Health Program as one of them. And it, like I say, tugs at the heartstrings to know that we took part in that to make it happen. And maybe it seems like I'm bragging, but that's what people ought to know, who they're doing business with. And a lifetime of achievements. Wow. I hope that I'm not bragging on myself, but just to be recognized for all the work that we're doing to help others here, there, and everywhere. Tugs at the heartstring. And one day, a little over a year and a half ago, I was invited by Mr. Ron Clayton up to his home city, which was near the largest naval air station in the United States. And it was a dedication for the people who have served, fought, and even died to give us our freedoms. And by the way, Mary Stanley, her children, and many other children came to it. And they brought little American flags, maybe about 8 inches tall with a little stick on the bottom. And they put a flag on every one of the burial sites of those who gave their lives for our freedoms. And for the kids, it had to tug at their heartstrings as well. And it was beautiful, wonderful. And I was the guest speaker, if you will. And they had 3 different television stations there and radio stations recording the presentation that I made about all the wonderful things that we're trying to do and the appreciation for those who gave everything for the freedoms that we enjoy. It really means a lot. And it was just still, again and again, I keep using it, the term tugs at the heartstrings, but it does. It gets into your mind and say, this is why the good Lord put us on this earth, to help make it a better world. And on it goes. And Ron, I could go on, but there's so many stories. And I'd like to turn it back over to you again, and I'd like to have another sip of my coffee, not the whole cup, but sip it. Back over to you, my friend. I'll sit down just a bit. Thank you, Ron. Back to you.
Well, thank you, Ron. All righty. Well, you know what? I'm going to take a moment out as we we're into the show here pretty well. One of the programs that the Hope Collection and Golden Rule Society took on as a service to anyone that's hearing us on this show. You know, our show is broadcast under the blog radio show, but we're on 15 other platforms that take us 90 countries of the world each day when we broadcast. But this past year for the United States and Canada, we joined forces with a company called Cambridge Credit Counseling Corporation. And it's a 501c3, which means it's like our organization. It's a nonprofit So it operates at a higher level of accountability, but it's also a tax-exempt organization. So they're able to operate in a really low overhead operation. But they're not a low cost operation. They are one of the top financial companies in the world. And what they do is, let's say, doesn't matter who you are, where you're living right now. If you look at your credit cards and you say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize in the last 4 years what has happened to our credit cards is they had a little small type in your agreements. They can change your rates at any time they want, the banks, the organization that sponsor credit cards or loans. They can also do things like increase the amount of penalty you pay. If you miss a payment by 1 day, you're paying anywhere from 40 to 50% fine. It could be a $50, it could be a $100 fine. I don't know what the size of your loan is, what credit is, but you can be paying all these fees, and what happens is you're not paying your bill down. Every month, you're paying an average of a minimum wage, minimum amount. You're never getting out of debt. So what happens, you just keep accumulating debt at a higher interest. How do you get ahead? Well, Cambridge, we have a contract with them. I signed it as the president of the whole collection. And this program works this way. You get a personalized, secure, confidential calc. And you call the number. I'm going to give it to you after I'm done explaining. You call this number. It's committed or dedicated to the whole collection and affiliates, people that we refer to. And you get a certified confidential calculator that can review with you what it is you have. All you look with them, and they have a form you fill out, and it gives you listen. They search to make sure you don't have any hidden costs going out your budget you don't even know about, and they can total them up, and they review that with you. When they review where you're at, they can set up a program, and they have the power in the marketplace to adjust the interest rates and the charges that these companies pay you and charge them. Now, what it can do is it can eliminate and bring you more money to your table every single month. Okay, now how do I know that? Well, I thought if I'm going to recommend something, I would make sure and check the system out, make sure it's all they do all that they say they do. And actually, my wife and I were able to put $500 a month in our pocket that we were paying out in interest and fees in our billing. And you know what? That money is $500 cash. We had to either put more food on the table, buy more gifts for Christmas, pay more money to charities we believe in, and we were able to live better. And in 40 months, the entire program is paid off, the whole program. Now, there's no upfront cost out of your pocket to do this. They do build in the overall process $50 fee that you don't pay up front. It's paid on a small monthly basis. It's a program, so you don't have to put any money up front to make this program work for you. It's confidential and it's secure. And we get a report every 30 days. We get a report. The bills that we agree, you agree with them. It's not something they tell you got to do. We agree which of those cards we wanted to be working in this program. And so by doing that, we get a monthly statement that it's paid, and they pay it. They draw and they pay the bill directly. That's how we know it's done on time every time. And after 40 months, our entire bills in this group that we put in there will be paid off and gone. All on time. You talk about securing and getting a better credit position. It does that for you. The other thing it does is it eliminates any question marks. I've not missed the payment because I didn't get to the post office in time or I didn't go online at the right date. Everything is paid for on time. And we get this report that shows it. We actually have paid off 2 of the programs that we had been paying on through this. We started 4 months ago. And 2 of those bills of the group that we had in there are now paid off. So now we have more money going to pay other bills off even greater. It's a great program. Cambridge also has other programs, goal setting and programs to help you achieve, accomplish things that you want to do. Maybe you want to be able to save money up for a vacation. You want to save money for a program. They can help you build that program and eliminate some of your costs in terms of costs of doing business in the credit world, plus positioning yourself so that you're putting together down payment for a house or a car or whatever you want to do, retirement. So this is a great program that's available to you. Like I said, it doesn't cost you anything up front, and it's a minimal cost. I'm telling you, the total cost for the whole program is $50, and that's spread over the repayment program you set up. So it doesn't hurt you. It only helps you. So the phone number to reach that is, and it's exclusive to the Hope Collection members. And when they answer the phone, they answer as the Hope Cambridge organization. The phone number is 888-491-7830. And that's, you can do it. It's a free consultation. You can find out how all this works. It's 888-491-7830. I highly recommend this to you. You'll be happy. I'm telling you, we had people call and tell us how we have helped them. One gal was going to go bankrupt. A friend of hers, she didn't know, but a friend of hers said, oh, why don't you just go bankrupt? They were able to help her position herself, and she's no longer, she's not going bankrupt. They're not going to have that black mark on her record. She's not going to have to be locked out of the credit world. Let's say she wanted to buy a new car. She's still going to be able to do that, and said she's still into this program. So, folks, take advantage of this. This is something, I can't call it free because that's not free. There is a process, but it's not up front, and you can do it, and it's going to make your life better. So if you want any questions, they ask me. My phone number is 716-908-2300. I'll be glad to fulfill you on any other questions that you might have. But you can go online and look at Cambridge Financial, and I'm telling you, this is an incredible service that we bring out to you no matter where you're at in the economic world. We can help. So, Len, you want to come on back?
Oh, absolutely, because Cambridge is one of the there's so many things that we don't have enough time to talk about it all, but we don't want to just overwhelm anybody. But that is a great organization, ladies and gentlemen, and you got to give it a go. And by the way, a quick question. One of our other senior advisors usually pops on the show, and I hope he's available today. Mr. Brad Dorsey, are you with us today? Please.
He's not on the call, Len. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, it's Christmas season, so everybody's traveling, visiting family here, there, and everywhere. We have another gentleman, senior advisor, Mr. Robert Oakley. And this guy was one of the top-notch members in the organization, AT&T, American Telecom. He was the boss. So here he is as a senior advisor in the Golden Rule Society. Terrific, terrific man. And if you're with us, Mr. Oakley, pop in because people want to hear what wonderful things you have done and are still doing, helping the Golden Rule Society charity and everybody that is helping to make it a better world. And I'm now to the point where my voice is changing, and I think that I don't want to be overwhelming and making people think that I'm just going to talk forever. But, Ron, I'm pretty much tired, not filled with it, but I've got other places to go, things to do, but here we are, helping to make it a better world. And remember this, ladies and gentlemen, there's a fellow that said this many, many years ago. It says, a kindness is never wasted. And the man that said that, his name was Aesop. And he's in the Bible and in history books way back when. So stay in touch. The show goes on 5 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I'm honored and humbled to be able to be doing the show on Fridays with Mr. Ron Clayton, who's now the honcho, the big man, running the kindness campaign with the program here. Kindness. That's what it's all about.
Len, thank you so much. We appreciate that you take time out of your life every week to be with us, and we're so proud to know you. We're proud to associate We're glad to be able to call you friend, and we look forward to having great times in the future. By the way, speaking of the future, in May, we're all going on a cruise down to Turks and Caicos in the Caribbean. The ship is called the Freedom, Carnival Freedom, which is a great title, the name of a ship. And we'll be going down there for a week in May, and you're welcome to join us. Want to find out details? Still can maybe get you aboard on the cruise. A lot of the people are already booked on it, but there's details available. And basically for about $900 a person, you can come on the cruise and going through with us for a week. So look forward to talking to you, and give us a holler if you'd like to know more. In the meantime, have a blessed and great New Year. Happy New Year. Stay healthy, and we'll see you next week, next year. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, God bless you all. Take good care. Happy New Year. Be careful, be kind, and take good care.